the L410 Turbolet. Whether you're just looking to expand your hangar with a new aircraft, or you really needed a turboprop, this is an excellent freeware aircraft with payware-like qualities. Thank you for joining us today on the Flight Brothers for our tutorial of the L410. The L410 Turbolet is a twin-engine, short-range, non-pressurized transport produced by the Let Aircraft Company. We'll be doing our tutorial today starting off at the Cork Airport in Ireland, which is a freeware scenery pack available on the X-Plane forum. Then we'll do a quick hop over to Shannon, Ireland, and we'll see another free scenery pack from the forum. Before we jump inside and start up, let's take a look at some of the immersion that you get out of the model and texturing of this aircraft. You can see the exterior as a nicely rendered model. The livery is quite realistically dirty, as any working plane should be. We have this cockpit door that opens, as well as you can see some of the interior textures from here. The main cabin door also opens. I'm not sure where that window appears to float. See the landing gear covers are rather unique how they flare out there. Generally speaking, a lot of detail for a free aircraft. I know I keep saying that, but we've all paid for aircrafts that disappointed sometimes. Well, this is a free aircraft that's going to surprise you with how much it has. The cabin is perhaps the least impressive, but we do have the seats. I believe this is a 17 or 18 seat aircraft typically. And you can go and access your doors. They do have click regions from the inside to open and close them. We'll be using these self-made checklists. I recommend you pause, screenshot, and print these. Here's the second page. And here's your third page. These are the procedures I will be using in the video. Let's begin our power-up tutorial. My typical style has been to try and do these slow enough that, for example, you could leave this video running on your smartphone while in sim actually powering up yourself. So using the checklist I created and displayed earlier, first we're going to go upstairs. Need battery 1 and 2 here in the top row on the left-hand side. Next, the intercom. We're moving down to the second row. VHF1 and NAV1 as well. At this point, we can check our Garmin 430. Let's take a moment just to putter with this Garmin 430. I will tell you, typically I have an external Garmin 430 that I would use because clicking on these is actually a real pain. But for the sake of the video, we're going to stick with this. As well as I found one little quirk. My external Garmin does not like working with this aircraft. I haven't quite sorted out why yet. So on Power Up, we're on this page, and you've got a couple different modes you can go through here. But you want to start with FPL for flight plan. And it looks like it's got something I previously did in a different aircraft, so we're going to take that. And I pushed in here on this bottom right, and you can see it has selected it, so it's bright green. I would like to delete that. I believe that's the clear. And it says yes or no. Don't be fooled, you cannot click yes. You must use the button. Oh, I guess we need enter. Pardon my bumbling here. Alright, we want to get rid of this 40G. And clear, and then enter. Alright, now you can see it is automatically populated with EICK. That is the ICAO code for Cork. That is our current location. So next, let's see if it's going to let us scroll from here. May not be what I wanted. Let's use clear. I want to move down to the next. There we go. See, we don't want to change EICK. We want to add the next. And for today, we're going to keep it simple. Not going to have any waypoints. We're just going to add Shannon, our destination. You notice we have an outer and an inner wheel. You can see the cursor goes from a large turning arrow to the smaller curved arrow. We're going to click on the outer, and you can see it immediately begins this waypoint. So we're going to use, is it outer, inner? No, I think it's inner. Nope, I was wrong. Click left. So, okay. Alright, so you're going backwards to go E. Then we'll go to the smaller wheel to move over to the right. I. And then we need two ends. Notice it's guessing our destinations. You can see there's some autofill happening. So that's kind of a nice feature, even though it's not really helping me at the moment. There we go, Shannon and Ireland. That is what we want. It says press enter. Then we've got an accept question mark, so press enter again. There we go. That for today is going to be our route. So next, back up to the overhead panel. We want the inverters. We're going to be in the top row on the right hand side. We want the 36 volt 1 and 2. You notice that also gave us an inverter on the AC here. Basically they're repeated. Long story short, turn them all on. Standby gyro horizon, I believe that was already on by itself, but we're going to keep it on. And now VHF 2, nav 2, ADF 1 and 2, gyro compass 1 and 2, MRK on. Long story short, all the radio nav in the second row gets turned on. And now for position lights. The lighting is in the bottom row. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th row. Here's position lights. Let's go outside and see what we got. Go red on the left, green on the right. Looks good. Alright, that's the end of the power-up section of the checklist. Now we're going to move on to the before start checklist. We want in the third row fuel pumps. They're on the far right, left hand, and right hand. Next, fuel crossfeed on. Prop feathering both, that's over here past the guards. On and on. IELU, left hand and right hand. Engine starting, left hand and right hand. So now we've got this entire third row turned on. And now, before we start the engine, let's turn on the anti-collision beacon down here at the bottom, the 5th row for lighting on the left. Just check outside. There we go. Alright, jumping back inside. For engine start, we want to check that the throttles are in idle, and they are. The propeller area is clear. I know that's silly. It's a sim. There's no one walking there, but I like to check. Alright, right-hand engine start. Now this is one you probably wouldn't find without watching the video. The lowest of these silver guards by the FO's knee here is our engine starter. So we are going to start the right-hand engine. There we go. See the gas gen coming up. Past about 20, so we're going to take this fuel shutoff valve, push it forwards. And away we go. And it looks pretty stable. Doesn't look like it's continuing to climb. So I think we're set there. Check the checklist again. It's time to turn on the right-hand DC and AC generators. Those are up here in the top row in the overhead panel on the left. So right-hand DC, you can see that switch repeats with the AC, so you only have to click one or the other. we're ready to start our left-hand engine. So again, with these guarded start switches, we'll hold the left. We're going to watch for about 20% on the gas jet. There's a 20. Push the cutoff forwards. And now we can turn on our left-hand generators, DC and AC, once again repeated there in the top row of the overhead. Alright, for our after start checklist, we are going to close the starter guard. We want to turn off the engine starting, so back to the overhead. In the third row on the far left, left-hand and right-hand engine starting can go off. Back down onto the panel, the windshield heat is in front of the first officer. Now's not a bad time to tell you that you can click on the... oh, no, you can't. That's other aircraft. You could press Y to hide the yoke, and again Y to bring it back. Here is your window heat. You're going to click it and drag over. And you can see there's a little light to enunciate the windshield heat is on. It's actually labeled, a very, very tiny label. Windshield heat. Alright, next we're going to jump back up and turn on the special equipment. So in the overhead panel, bottom row, the fifth row, on the right hand section. I believe these things are not actually simulated to do anything, but we're going to turn them on anyway. DME, AMS, RA, radar, transponder, flight recorder, passenger ADV, I'm uncertain what that is, and we've got one unlabeled switch. Use your imagination. This one does not move. Alright, next, ice detector, rotary and static. That is one row up, so the fourth row, the right hand side. Those are repeated, so just click one, you got them both. Passenger cabin lights, we're still in the fourth row, we're on the left hand column. 1 and 3 and 2 and 3. Turn on the seatbelt sign. There is no bong, unfortunately. And the fuel cross feeds at this point can go off. So third row, right hand side in the center, fuel cross feeds are off. And now on to the before takeoff checklist. We want to check the fuel quantity. We're going about 50 miles, so we can go up here to weight and balance. There's no special interfaces for this. Again, it's a freeware aircraft, a lot of good things, but you're not going to get that much out of it. We've got a payload that seems reasonable, and a flight time of 1 hour 56 minutes. We're only going 50 miles. That should be plenty of fuel. Resuming our flight here. For our takeoff briefing, well, before we can do that, we need to look at something else that's kind of neat. Dun dun dun. Thank you so much. I think a lot of us have gotten spoiled in particularly the Zibo, having the Avatab built in as a tablet. This is the same Avatab you could pull down from the menu if you have that plugin installed. However, that's not fixed, it's floating. So as much as I love having this, it's in the way. So if you're on taxi out and you want to refer to it and you need to look down, I mean, it's just very hard to figure out where to put the non-floating one. So I like this fixed position right here. So I've just set up one of my viewpoints so I can just glance at it and back. At any rate, for that departure briefing, we need to look up the ATIS 120.92. Go back to our Garmin 120.92. You're going to dial that up with the left-hand dial. You can see right now we're in COM1, and highlighted is the bottom. Alright, the large knob, just the first digits. 120. Cannot use the scroll wheel on this, that's a shame. Smaller knob. It is a little confusing. You notice down here is almost entirely just the enter. There's the outer knob. scattered, 6,000 broken, visibility 110. There we go, this will be. Wind is 310 at 17. And the altimeter is 2974. Altimeter first. 2974, altimeter set. The wind is 310 at 17. Taking off the wind. So our initial heading will be 344. Let's get a heading bug. 44. Alright, next on our checklist, flaps 18. So down here. Let's see, here's our flap region, 0, 2. Flaps have deployed. Nice detail on the alarms here. Elevator trim. The trim wheel is right here. Let's see, trim altimeter is set. Pitot key needs to be turned on. Here's another interesting one to find. I even marked its location on the checklist because I'm likely to forget where this is. First officer's panel. We'll look down and onto this right-hand section. So this area, heating. Pitot heads 1, 2, green square. Both are on. Excellent landing lights. Additional lights. It's up here. Before I turn on, let's take a look at those real quick. Let's see where our landing lights are located. Let's go up here. I'm going to switch them up. That is the taxi light position. We've got 2. Now, centers off, down is landing lights, and all 3 lights are on. So they're brighter. For the moment, I'm actually just going to turn these to taxi lights. Taxi. Transponder location. Sorry. I hate when I do that to you with the camera. Transponder is right here. Switch it to on. Scroll wheels to change Interesting. Oh, there we go. Inner and outer region. I was on the wrong area. Outer, so change the first digit. Change the second digit. Fourth digit. Okay, transponder is on and set to a random number. Garmin is set to GPS mode, and the autopilot is right here. And we're going to prep it by arming nav, vertical speed. Alright, let me point this out. To actually activate the autopilot, go to the overhead panel, 4th row on the right, label biggest day autopilot. APFT, autopilot flight director. This switch is what toggles the autopilot on or off. So just activating it down on the pedestal does not actually turn it on. We are ready to taxi. Hey, so I just realized I can't read a map today, and I'm actually moving myself back down to the correct runway. I was headed for 16, but the coolest thing on line traffic here, we have an Aer Lingus departing right now, as you can see right there. I've only had live traffic on my X-plane for about a week or 2, and I'm just still really beat down every time they actually have realistic traffic to interact with. It's just been feedback situation to get down there. Way 3, 4. Alright, neat feature. Check this out. Watch the pilot's heads. They turn with the rudder. I never noticed that till right now. We basically made our taxi on idle just to
On runway
crack
3, 4.
just crack the throttles open. It really takes just about nothing to get this going. If you didn't recall it earlier, this is an unpressurized aircraft, so we're only going to climb to about 10,000 because I assume our passengers like breathing. We are lined up. Flaps are set. 18. Autopilot's on. Landing lights, full lights. Already. Got a lot of rudder in. Just float it off. You're up. Trims down. Just once we pull the flaps, we're just about 1,000 feet. Flaps are up. Jump up here and activate the autopilot. Airspeed indicator is not alright, well, I think we've discovered the source of our problem. We have torpedo 1 and 2 failed in blocking. Seeing as the point of this video is not to practice normal procedures, we're just going to fix all systems. My changes. We're back in business. Okay, word on airspeed. It's in kilometers, not knots. So this is one thing that you might find a little aggravating. Probably the simplest thing you can do is cut things in half. So 50 kilometers per hour is approximately 27 knots. And roughly half 100 kilometers, 54. So having things a simple way to do it. We're about what, 320 right now, so about 170 knots. Also, since I was busy messing with that, we did not adjust our climb rate. In the after takeoff checklist, we have our gear up. We have retracted our flaps. We want to climb out at about 1,900 RPMs. So I'm actually going to adjust the prop speed. You can see these two handles moving right here. You can actually hear it. If you're familiar with the car transmission, probably the best way to think of this is like that. We're adjusting the amount of bite the blades have into the air, so there's less strain on the engine. So we want to reduce the RPM here about 1,900. Very small adjustment. We have the joystick button, just give it a few little taps here.
altimeter setting.
Alright, we got an altimeter setting call, so we're going to go over transition altitude for the area. 29.2. And I believe that is repeated on both sides, so there is no need to adjust the FOs. Alright, we're just coming up on 7,000 feet. So I'm going to click out altitude mode on the autopilot. Looks like our ATIS is 130.95. Let's see if we're a little quicker getting this in now. 'Cause to the runway heading. Yep, you can see the deflection starting there. The glide slope is also aligned. Slightly overflown the runway, but that's okay. We've got plenty of time to get back to it. At the moment, we have landing gear up, flaps are up, prop speed has been run up to full. Landing lights are on. So we need to make sure we run under the flaps and land before landing checklist. content out there that is already free for you. We'll include the link in the video description. Alright, we're at the stand here in Shannon. I don't have excruciating procedure for shutdown for you.